Hello and welcome to Tech.eX. Tatiana van Velzort joins me today to show us how SynXis Retailing is creating new opportunities for hoteliers to deliver increased RevPAR. Tatiana is the Global Head of Sales for SynXis Retailing, an MBA graduate with over 25 years of experience in hospitality and distribution, and has been part of the Sabre Retailing journey since its inception. Before joining Sabre, Tatiana spent 15 years as a hotelier, deeply immersed in hotel operations and distribution, giving her a unique perspective to empower fellow hoteliers to navigate the currents of change. Welcome, Tatiana.
Thank you, Matt. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Tatiana, what are some of the challenges facing hoteliers and the hospitality industry today?
Well, I think that the challenge is generating more revenue, right? It's always the chase of generation of revenue, and ADRs, we saw that ADRs blew up a couple years ago during pandemic, but they have restabilized, and the answer is no longer let's just raise the rates, right? In a lot of cases, you can't do that. So where do hoteliers find more revenue? Well, they have to start moving away from that KPI of ADR and moving towards total revenue per stay. Nowadays, the traveler is much more focused on the experiences and what they're going to live through their vacation, rather than just fixating the hotel is part of the trip, but it's not really what has focus from travelers. As a matter of fact, I saw a statistic a couple of weeks ago on a research that 60% of travelers start their trip planning without a specific destination in mind, and they actually start by researching experiences, and the room or the stay is actually an afterthought after they've mapped out all of this they want to live while they're traveling. So truly, I think that one of the biggest challenges is that hospitality hasn't quite adapted to that type of consumer behavior. We're still working on very old concepts, and we have to start as an industry. We all have to realize that this is an important shift that must happen in the way that we commercialize our product that goes way beyond the room.
For sure. So how does Sabre's SynXis Retailing assist hoteliers to attract and increase direct bookings?
That's a great question. If you allow me, I'll flip to a couple of slides here. Sabre is putting together the most comprehensive set of retailing offers in the hospitality industry. Right now, our offer consists of SynXis Retailing, which is the ability to book ancillaries with and without a room. Gift cards and vouchers, which is a platform for selling gift cards and vouchers, which means you can capture revenues even after a guest has departed. And then, of course, our vision for third-party offers, which comes in 25 in Marketplace. And really the way this works is that we allow hoteliers to put the right offer to the right people at the right time through their entire journey of shopping and planning a stay, from the moment that they shop to the moment that they leave, and even after they leave. A lot of hoteliers have scientific data that tells us that 2 weeks prior to arrival is when people are looking to enhance their stay, right? So if you think about your own travel habits, if you're planning a trip 6 months in advance, a year in advance, depending on what you're doing, you're going to book your air likely, and you're going to book your accommodations. Maybe you do it together, maybe you do it separately, but that's what you're going to get locked out. You get your dates, and then you get your air and your stay. Maybe you're putting a lot of money up front already. Maybe you're flying far and the ticket's really expensive. At that point, you might be researching things to do and places to eat, but you're not really fully ready to commit 100% on your full itinerary, right? Now, fast forward 2 weeks prior to arrival, you're pumped, you're like vacation mode already. You already forgot about the money you spent on plane tickets. You're not going to care about that now, and you're simply going to be more prone to enhance and buy things at that stage. So truly what differentiates this platform from what we have been doing in the past is it allows you to create a comprehensive retail strategy. So it's not just about selling itineraries, it's not just about selling ancillaries. It's about having a retail strategy that can really, really drive some powerful revenue.
So it's not just about the traction of the booking, but SynXis Retailing actually supports the hotelier to upsell to the guest throughout their stay and post-stay.
That's correct. And without a stay.
Right.
So it truly, when it's at time of booking, you're going to see it. You may add a couple of things, but then I have pre-stay email capabilities that I can shoot you a message and say, hey, how about, you add some cool stuff. And we look, I always revert as me as a traveler, right? If I don't know you have a spa, one of two things are going to happen. Either A, I'm going to get to your property and I'm not going to have time to book a spa because I've already filled my itinerary and maybe the times and dates that are available, I'm not available or whatever. Or maybe like it happened to a friend of mine, couldn't get into the spa. It was fully booked. So he missed out. And now what's meant to be a positive thing became kind of a sore spot for me with that hotel because they didn't tell me anything about the spa. I would have loved to go to the spa, but I can't. So it's thought really based on 100% how do we as consumers behave and how do we expect things to show up to us, right? It's about monetizing on things that the hotels already do. So an example, I go to Bogota on business quite often. There is a hotel that there is a lobby corner that I love. And you know how you have to work from hotels sometimes when you're on the road. And they have the perfect spot in the lobby. It's private, it has the right plugs, and it's close enough to the bar that can get coffee delivered. Like, it's sitting there for squatters like me to sit there all day long and just work. Whereas I would love, and I get bummed out when I can't have it and there's somebody sitting there. I would love to be able to reserve that space. I would love to be able to have that. And it's simple things like that. It's early check-ins, 5 early check-ins a day at $75 equate to like $140,000 a year or something like that. So it's shifting a mindset to think outside of the room and looking at the hotels as much beyond. These statistics you see here, or these numbers that you see here, are real numbers from real guests, from real customers using this thing. And here's another thing that is clear where the evolution of this is going, right? We started at, here's a room, this is what we've been doing before, here's a room, and here's a couple of options that you can add on to your room, right? Very simple, very basic, no variations. Fast forward 23, we ordered a number of variations. So, no bottles of wine are not made the same. There are several different variations within that one thing, a bottle of wine. Now, expand that to other products. Imagine the complexity, and this is how much SynXis Retailing can do. It can add a lot of complexity within these offers. And now come to 24, we come to a world where all of this customization is no longer room-centric, which means if I'm offering on my SynXis Retailing offers, I have, stand-up paddling, and I'm looking for things to do on my vacation, and I search for stand-up paddling, I can fall under your offering. And now I go, hey, look, this looks like a nice hotel. Maybe I'll just go ahead and stay there, and I can do paddleboarding, stand-up paddling. I'm not sure what it's called. I've never done it, but you know what I'm talking about. I can do that all day long. That's great. That's the perfect vacation for me. And now you're flipping the narrative where the room could potentially be an ancillary of an experience. And that's what's pretty cool.
That's really exciting, Tatiana. So tell me a little bit more about this with or without the room.
Yeah, this concept I think is really groundbreaking, and it's going to give us a leap of change, right? So I mentioned before that we're catching up to airlines, and airlines are really been being ahead of us historically. So I remember when I was in distribution inside a hotel, dynamic pricing was a common practice of an airline for years. Nobody expected you researched a flight, you booked that flight that day because you knew if you searched for it at a different day, it was going to be different. But with hotels, I was there part of that change, and people would actually get upset if they called today and the rate was one thing, and they called tomorrow and the rate was another. And it took us years, but now it's common and it's standard practice in the hospitality as well. Ancillaries is the same. Back, gosh, I don't even know how long have airlines charging us for seats and luggage and all kinds of different things. And hoteliers are just now catching up to that and dividing retail strategies. The cool part about the without the room piece of it is that it now allows us to go a step further and reach non-guests, maybe, as I mentioned before, day use or, a personalized robe. It really just, it amplifies our tangible, addressable market within a destination, and it doesn't confine it to just the guests that are staying in my hotel.
So it's a bit like, well, airlines, you can buy the add-ons as long as you've purchased the seat on the flight. But now with hotels, you don't have to book the room in order to purchase the add-ons. So hotels are really becoming the destination management company, whether the guest is staying in the hotel or not.
That's right. And that's big. That's something that efficiently hoteliers haven't been able to do.
For sure. So I believe there's about 300 properties currently live and using SynXis Retailing at the moment. Can you tell us a bit about the benefits that they're seeing through driving revenue across all their different products and services?
Absolutely. So, as you said, we have over 300 properties already live in this tool. We're seeing an average of $334 of spend on ancillaries with a room booking. And this is a bit mind-blowing because there's over 800 unique live offers. And our customers are using this in a number of creative ways. There's even some usability for donations and charitable things. I heard from our customer in Hawaii that we helped them donate during the fires, and that was super cool. And I thought that was in line with trends that we see nowadays, right? This new generation, the Gen Zs, they're hitting the marketplace, they're hitting the road, they're traveling, and they have a different view of the world, right? For them, sustainability matters. So there's a look. There's only so many things you can do on an airplane, and airlines have been selling ancillaries forever. When you expand that to the world of hospitality, the possibilities are endless. It is absolutely endless.
So one thing I really want to touch on here is that I believe that SynXis Retailing allows someone to book a service or a product without the guest room. Is that right?
That is 100% correct. Allow me to demonstrate this to you. Okay, so this is what we call standalone. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a live customer to show you because this just went into production yesterday. So we're working on activating our customers onto this. But this is my test property, is in my test hotel. And say a friend of mine went and stayed at the V Hotel, and she has a beautiful bathrobe that I am super jealous about, and I want one. I'm never going to be at the V Hotel. I'm never going to go there. So this allows me, a non-guest, to purchase a luxurious bathrobe and not having to have stayed at your property at all.
So Tatiana, can you show us some of the customers that you have at the moment that are using SynXis Retailing with the room?
100%. So this is Casa de Campo. These guys are awesome. We love them. They are one of our early adopters, and they've been seeing a lot of success with the tool. So the way it works is, of course, I'm just going to do a search for accommodation. In this case, I'm starting from the booking path of the room. And I had already pre-selected a room here to speed things up. We don't need to look at the booking engine, but this is their SynXis Retailing offer. And again, this is why this is so cool, is because it allows you a level of variations and customized variations that allow you to set time, date, and this is as simple or as in detail as you would like to configure it. I think that, for example, spa credits is very, very clever because in essence, they're giving you $150 in credits, but it costs $120. And it guarantees that somebody is going to go spend some money on your spa because they bought a credit for it. So it's a very clever way. And just to clarify with the standalone, what's going to happen is here you see a button for rooms. Once they activate this, there's going to be a button for shop. And the cool thing about the configuration for SynXis Retailing is with a room and without a room is that you are able to determine for each of your packages if you sell them with a room, without a room, or with and without a room. So you could have it all three ways. So it's incredibly flexible and a very, very nice way to drive additional revenue for the hotels.
So Tatiana, what's Sabre's vision for the future of SynXis Retailing platform?
So our vision is to continue to invest on the evolution of this tool. And in 2025, we'll be working on what we're calling Marketplace. You saw it in that first slide, that it's part of this, this vision of how do we bring more content in that hoteliers can then offer to their guests, right? So we're talking transportation, maybe tickets, maybe the ability to book restaurant tables or the tours or experiences or travel insurance. I mean, again, the ecosystem of what a destination is made of is quite a universe of offers and things that can be then brought to one centralized locations, and hoteliers can actually put all of that in front of their guests and have really a very complete offer that addresses an entire traveler's experience versus just booking a hotel.
For sure. So for hoteliers interested in exploring more of SynXis Retailing, how can they learn more?
Well, they can reach us via web on sabrehospitality.com. They can email me, tatiana.vanvelzer@sabre.com. They can easily Google SynXis Retailing, and I'm sure it's going to send them to the page, or you can find me on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to support as well.
It's exciting times. Thank you very much for sharing SynXis Retailing with us today, Tatiana.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thanks very much for joining us today. As Tatiana mentioned, for more information, there's several ways you can get in touch or visit sabrehospitality.com. Thanks again, take care, and safe travels.